Welcome back to Connecticut's Morning Buzz. Well, as the summer starts to wind down, I hate to say that, you may want to start thinking about the indoor air quality of your home. That, of course, before those cold fall and winter days keep you cooped up inside. Joining us to talk about the importance of air duct cleaning is Dane Bundy. He's the Vice President of CSC Services. Dane, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
So, as we were just saying, this is a great time for people to really evaluate their ducts, see if they need to be cleaned before we are cooped up indoors.
Yeah, it's back to school season, which means inevitably fall is coming, and then we know the heat starts to kick on. I remember growing up, my family had forced hot air, and then every year when they kicked the heat on, I knew they did it because the most awful smell would come out of the ducts, and it was horrendous because back then the indoor air quality, lack of knowledge was big back then, so nobody kind of talked about it or did it back then. And I remember the first time that my parents had it cleaned, there was stuff that they found in there that was pretty amazing, to say the least. And
I would imagine it's not just the smell, it can have an impact on people's health, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So it can affect your allergies in a lot of different ways. A lot of times we'll find mold in the systems. So, you know, when there's a heat exchanger, if you have heat and AC, you got a heat exchanger, the stuff kind of sits on that throughout the summertime, and then the first time you kick it on, it more or less kind of cooks it off, if you will, and that's kind of where the smell comes from. So certainly before kicking your heat on is a great time to do it.
And CSC Services, I know you were saying you guys are very busy right now. This is really the time that people are thinking about doing this.
Yeah, and obviously as time goes on, the indoor air quality knowledge is getting out there more and more to people, and it's becoming more, especially after COVID, you know, it's just been a huge smash hit after that. We're very busy with it.
And how does your whole process work? Do people set up a consultation? How do they even know that they need their ducts cleaned?
Well, NADCA, National Air Duct Cleaners Association, they set a lot of guidelines, so we try to follow those guidelines, which most people wouldn't know about. You can go to their website and see the guidelines. Before COVID, they were recommending 3 to 5 years to either inspect or clean. After COVID, they're recommending now 1 year, every year, to either inspect the system or clean it. So if you want us to come out and do an inspection on it, we can take some pictures, tell you what we see, or just come out and clean it. But if it hasn't been done in a few years, it's probably time to do it.
Okay, good to note there. And I know you were mentioning there are a lot of companies out there that do it. Could be hard to choose. How do people even find a reputable company, avoid scams, which I know you say can happen?
Yeah, so that's kind of the biggest thing, is doing your research, right? So social media has a big impact on what people do every day and who they choose. You know, we have the social media groups like in your town. Everyone's got the town groups and everybody chats in. I can't tell you the amount of times I see like, oh, a new family moved to town. We own an air duct cleaning company and we want to clean your ducts. And everybody jumps in and comments. They're like, oh, yeah, we want a quote. And I'm sitting there going, guys, this is obviously not real. So I'll jump on, I'll like make a comment. Hey, you guys are part of NADCA, you know, where you're from, and then they'll never even respond to it. So definitely be aware of that. NADCA is another good resource, National Air Duct Cleaning Association. You can go on, put your zip code in, and they'll give you a list of any reputable air duct cleaners that are certified in your area. So that's certainly another good way. Word of mouth, reviews, just do your research. Know who you're getting involved with ahead of time. And obviously, some of these $99, we're going to do your whole house specials. We all know that that's not going to happen for $99. So, you know, that's definitely something to look forward to.
If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Usually.
Especially with something as important as this, it really affects, you know, the air quality of your home, for your kids, for your pets. So let's say someone decides to get their ducts cleaned before the school year. How long does that process take for them?
Depends on how big the space is, typically 4 to 5 hours, depending on, and I would encourage customers to like be involved during the process while it's being done. Don't be scared to ask the technician to see what they're doing. Ask them for pictures. You know, and our technicians will actually walk the customer through it and show them stuff they find. So don't be afraid to ask and be involved with what they're doing to make sure it's being done right.
Yeah, and biggest thing people have noticed, what's the feedback you've gotten after they get their ducts cleaned?
Oh, so yeah, we've solved a lot of allergy problems over the years, you know, especially in younger children and stuff. We saw, you know, if there's pets in the house, we've solved allergy problems. You know, just fresher air inside the house. You know, you keep your windows open, pollen comes inside, everything gets sucked into that system.
Right.
You know, and the filter only allows so much filtration, so stuff does get by it, you know.
Just feels, smells cleaner.
Yeah.
Dane Bundy, we appreciate your time, your information, good stuff to know. CleanMyDucts.com if you are interested in learning more. We will have the details on WTNH.com as well. Don't go anywhere, though. Very quickly, we're going to get a sneak preview of a Middletown Food Truck Festival that's going on this weekend. Alyssa is outside. Liz, how are things shaping up out there?
Yes, Natasha, I know.